you haven't heard about the Khufu Pyramid project, it is a phenomenon that is sweeping the world right now. It has to do with a new technology, or perhaps a technology that's being reused called SAR, which is Synthetic Aperture Radar. It's a new type of, well, it may not be new. It's probably been used. We're going to find out today. But there is a team that was put together to use this technology in scanning the Giza pyramids, known as the Khafre and the Khufu pyramids, and some other phenomenon in that area. We have with us today Filippo Biondi. He is the SAR technology specialist who was primarily involved in researching this data and using it in the application. We also have Armando May. He's an Egyptologist. He's also a co-leader. We've had Armando on the program before. And the third individual is Cornado Malanga. He is not available. He was the co-leader, but we have 2 out of 3, which is excellent. And I'm really happy to have all my guests today. So, hey, guys, welcome to Earth Ancients. Great to have you on the program.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Keith, for your invitation.
I want to ask you both, and I'll start with Filippo. When did you determine that this technology would work on pyramids, the SAR technology?
Yes. At the beginning, I had some skepticism to make it work on the pyramids because my technique uses the estimation of vibrations that are present on the Earth in order to retrieve tomographic inversions in order to scan underneath. We can say that this technology born in 2018 when in Italy we had there was a bridge located in Genoa, in north part of Italy, and this bridge collapsed, and it was called the Morandi Bridge. Collapsed because of a storm happened during summer. Was this period, maybe on August, not now. And so I had to, in my consciousness, I had to find a method in order to prevent this kind of situation when a storm interferes with bridges and, let's say, induces this infrastructure, the so-called resonance frequencies. And when the resonance frequency is gained, it is very dangerous from the infrastructure. And so I started the feasibility to perform investigation on using synthetic aperture radar images produced from space. You know, the use of synthetic aperture radar is not innovative because the radar is is a well-done technology that is located in the state-of-the-art compound, and also synthetic aperture radar on satellites because there are from a lot of time. But the innovation key point was given by the evaluation of a method that makes available the so-called communication channel given by vibrations. Vibrations are a tiny movement of the Earth, and we know that the acoustics are predominantly propagating through the matter, and the more is dense and the better is the feasibility to transmit this acoustic information, because can be done using by a higher velocity. And so we started to do some experiments, and all the experiments I did are everyone published on academic journals, peer-reviewed. In 2019, I met our team leader, which is the Professor Corrado Malanga, that was a professor at the University of Pisa, and now he's retired. And in that time, he was studying the Pyramid of Khufu. And so also I was resonating on his topics, and I asked ask him to make some work together, and I propose him to use the evaluation of synthetic aperture radar data. In that time, there was only one research group working scientifically on the pyramids that is also today the SCAN Pyramid project. The SCAN Pyramid project uses the information given by muons. Muons
Muons,
are
yeah, yeah.
yes, subparticles that are transmitted from the universe, and the SCAN Pyramid project uses these particles in order to scan inside the matter. But we are using something different, so now there is a second research group that scientifically is working not only on the pyramids, but on all the Giza Plateau, which is our research group that is the CAFRE research program.
Armando, was the satellite requisitioned by you, or did you take existing data and use that with the scan?
Maybe Filippo could
Yes, yes.
reply to here because he's more
Yes,
technical.
we use at the moment SAR data that are just collected by satellites. The satellites is imagine, no, when the satellite passes on the Giza Plateau and makes a photo, a
So you have to
snapshot.
find the longitude and latitude
Yes,
specific to the actual flight pattern.
yes, yes.
And
Everyone can take photos by satellites, not only
everyone can
us.
take it. So
Yes.
my other question is, did you pick a satellite that is known? Obviously, it has the SAR technology in it. Prior to scanning the pyramids, was this specific type of scan used for geology?
Yes, absolutely yes. The snapshots are all stored into the company database. Who wants can or buy the data, or if they are available for philanthropic activities, it is our case, you can have data for free. In this case, we asked Capella Space, which is an American company, and we start working with open source data. So not only us, but everyone can manage this data. That is a photo. Let's say like that. It's like a photo. It is much more. Let's say in terms of information, has more than a simple picture. But let's consider it like a picture, and this picture has been reprocessed in order to extrapolate the vibrations of all the Giza Plateau.
So you explained to us that this SAR technology captures the vibration,
Yes,
and then you get back raw data,
yes.
and then you, as the technician, have to interpret that, correct?
Yes, we have let's say the know-how in order to extrapolate vibrations from synthetic aperture radar data, which is, let's say, the synthesis process. Once we have the vibrations, we do the analysis, the so-called tomographic inversion, in order to watch what there is underneath.
There's a lot of questions about the actual depth of this technology, how deep it can go. I hear some people saying it can go up to 2 miles underground. Some people saying several hundred feet. What is the actual depth of
Yes,
the
yes.
pyramid piers?
So the actual depth, the maximum depth that theoretically our technique can gain, can be comparable to in terms of time delay, because time delays, this is very important. Any geological tool does not measure a distance directly. Distance are measured by time delay. Why? Because the space, a distance, is measured in terms of matter density, because the acoustic information is propagating only inside the matter. And the more the matter density is, the better, the higher is velocity. So more space is done by the acoustic information. Approximately the maximum depth that we can reach can be in the order of 5 kilometers below. In the scans that we made on the Giza Plateau, we approximately estimated a distance underneath on about 1.2 or 3, 1.2, 1.5 kilometers.
Kilometers. What is that, Armando? Is that like that's like 700
The
feet?
conversion in miles, I don't remember the.
Armando, you joined this team what, a couple of years ago? Were you part of the Khufu Scan group as well? Did you? I mean, I think you sent me some photographs of that early scan of the Khufu Pyramid, and it was phenomenal. There were some new rooms that were discovered. There were new channels. That was radical. What was the response of the community to that? I thought it was pretty good, but some people felt that you were making stuff up.
Yes, I have to say that I joined a group of research the 1st September 2022 because I was studying the northern shaft of the Queen's Chamber inside the Khufu Pyramid. Because together with Manu Sefsadek and Jean-Paul Boval, because we noted some interesting details that could suggest possible existence of unknown chambers inside the Great Pyramid. And in that period, I noted the scans made by Filippo and Corrado that were working on the Khufu Pyramid, and I noted also the 3D models that they showed during a conference. And looking at the 3D, I noted that there was a possible connection between an environment connected to the northern shaft of the Queen's Chambers and the environment detected by Corrado and Filippo Biondi. That is why I entered in contact with them, and we discussed we had a very interesting discussion about their work, and particularly about my job that I made also on the Khufu Pyramid, because, as you know, according to a multidisciplinary model of analysis based on mathematics and geometry, I discovered a connection between the Khufu Pyramid and the number 137. It is a basic number in physics because it's from that number originated the main three laws of physics. It means that code, if is connected to the Khufu Pyramid, it means that to build the pyramid already managed this code, this number. That is why I believed that was very important to approach the study of the entire Giza Plateau, so not only the pyramids and the Sphinx, but also the Tomb of the Birds, the two temples beneath the pyramids, and so on, because I believe there is a global project. So all the monuments are connected among them, and the scans through the SAR is showing that all the underground of Giza is connected. So we decided to move together in this new kind of study in the effort to understand what is the purpose of the Giza Plateau. So we decided to move with the Khufu research project that lead us to the conference of last March, when we revealed the first image of the underground of Giza.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, one of the issues regarding this SAR scan is using other methods to validate what has been discovered. In other words, how do you follow up on just a scan? And I think that one of the positive outcomes was the scan of the Osiris shaft. And you were able to scan this and also validate the entire shaft itself from top to bottom, which is a validation, isn't it? Wouldn't you say that's a validation of your work?
Yes, the validation is very important, because when we are measuring something that we know anything about it, we need, using a technique, the same technique has to be validated in order to have a comparison order of magnitude. So we can say what we are watching. So what we are measuring is like calibrating our measurement equipment. So we studied everything beginning from the laboratory. This I can suggest to watch the conference that we made in Malta, because there is has been explained very in details. So we started from the laboratory where we was simulating the equipment that we used on the satellite. So in laboratory, we have tuned the technique using optical images. Once we were able to scan, let's say, inside a small test environment located in laboratory, we moved approaching the technique using the first satellite images. And we scanned inside environment where we knew exactly what we had to watch. So we scanned inside the mountains where we knew exactly what we had to know, specific tunnels, specific large infrastructure where we knew exactly what we were watching. For example, we scanned inside the Gran Sasso d'Italia, which is a mountain located in the central part of Italy, where inside, in the core of the mountain, there is a physics laboratory. And the physics laboratory where was detected and also evaluated the details inside the laboratory. The laboratory is currently located 1.4 kilometers with respect to the top of the mountain. So this is very important. Once we tuned our software like that, using test sites, we began scanning the Khufu Pyramid. So we are referring on the work that I did with Corrado Malanga in 2022, and we have measured things that after 6 months also Zahi Hawass estimated, also in situ. I am referring to the 9 meters long corridor that he announced the discovery.
That's the corridor that's above the entrance. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You
Yes,
actually
the
published that.
so-called small void, the so-called small void.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have depicted this corridor previously, the in situ discover that Zahi Hawass made, and we can say that we thanks Zahi Hawass because he have validated our method. So this is very important. And then once we had the chance to see that things were working, we moved to scan all the Giza Plateau. And so now we are able to announce our measurements that I say has to be validated with in situ excavation, but with a certain probability that, in my personal opinion, is very high, we can announce that under each pyramid there are shafts, with a spiral nature that are belonging underneath for a lot of meters.
Yeah, Armando, give us some more information about these shafts that have these, is it a walkway or a stairway that kind of follows down into the ground?
Well, of course, before to have a precise answer, we have to explore the underneath of Giza. And we hope that in the future we can achieve the permits to explore the underground. Meanwhile, we are examining the tomographies, and we are trying to understand what lies beneath the pyramids. There are shafts that are characterized by spirals that goes from down to up. I believe that if we talk about 1 kilometers, 0.2, I believe that we cannot talk about staircase. But in my personal opinion, I believe that the spirals may be some kind of metals that characterize the shafts. But it's only my opinion. For to have a certainty, we must excavate on the Giza Plateau in the effort to find the correct solution to this mystery. But as I said to you, in my opinion, the only answer that we can give in this moment is just only an opinion. And as I said, in my opinion, it's metal.
When we look at these scans, it makes us think about Chris Dunn's book that these are machines rather than tombs. Filippo, what is your feeling on either of the Khufu or the Khafre pyramids in terms of what their role was?
Yes, I thanks Christopher Dunn that was very patient to also to join us at the YouTube channel of Nicole Ciccolo, and we had a very nice transmission, streaming, talking about this task. Of course, yes, the Giza Plateau. So I agree with the with Christopher Dunn. What we can say, in my personal opinion, is this: the Giza Plateau has to be considered entirely, from north, south, east, west, underneath, up to the stars,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of calibration, calibrated to stars. So has to be considered entirely. It is can have more than one purpose, of course, but it is not possible to consider separately the things. So the pyramid, the Sphinx, separately, but entirely.
Hmm.
And considering what we are discovering these days, the pyramids can be considered like heads that are located on the Giza Plateau. 2 weeks ago, we had a very nice conference in Florence where we met the Pinkerle family. And Mario Pinkerle was an Egyptologist, very famous, that he discovered for the first time the Djed, which is that multi-layer monument that is located inside the Khufu Pyramid, that is located on the top of the king's chamber. So the Djed is a monument that is made all in granite, and it is separated from the structure of the pyramid. So it is like that all the pyramid is like a cover that is on top of the Giza Plateau in order to preserve something or to make propagate something that is very near to vibrations.
Hmm.
So all the Giza Plateau, to know really what the Giza Plateau was, we have to go to watch things personally. So we have to excavate. Excavate, not so much. I suggest you again to see the to see the Malta conference that we did, because there are something about the shafts, very important about the shafts that are visible inside from the surface of the outside from the surface of the Giza Plateau. But let's see. And so it is true. I convinced myself that the pyramids can be considered only the tip of the iceberg of something very huge, colossal, that is located underneath.
Armando, what is your feeling of the potential purpose? And also, while you're on that subject, does it seem like this is a dynastic invention, or is it pre-dynastic? Some very early people made these big machines.
Well, you know that in I am in the field of Egyptology since 25 years.
Right.
And I started from the academic field because I studied the most famous Egyptologists such as Petrie, Salim Hassan, Gardner, George Hart, and so, Williams, and so on, because I was fascinated by the pyramids particularly. But along the time, I noted many clues suggesting that the Egyptians during the fourth dynasty weren't not able to build such a kind of monuments because of the architectural and engineering features, but also because of the logistic. You know that, for example, the Great Pyramid, the King's Chambers is composed by granite blocks of the weight of 70 tons
Yeah.
that were transported from the Aswan quarries that are 900 kilometers from Giza. So it is really very hard to suggest the possible construction of those monuments during the dynastic age. Moreover, inside the pyramids were not found any kind of hieroglyphics, for example, celebrating the pharaohs, or funerary, or traces of funerary burials, and so on. So, in my opinion, I started to study the alternative theories, and as I wrote in my English book, The Secrets of the Gods, I described my opinion, that it's not an opinion, but is a very scientific study based on multidisciplinary patterns of investigation based on astronomy, mathematics, and physics and geometry, showing a world that is really fascinating because of the connection with the mathematical constant, for example, of all monuments involved in the global project. With astronomy, and so I believe that the Giza Plateau was built by a preceding civilization that lived on Earth in the ancient past. Now, who were, I don't know, but the myth, for example, the Book of Death or the text of Edfu, for example, suggests the existence of a preceding civilization that was destroyed in the ancient past by a cataclysm that destroyed the preceding civilization. So, in my opinion, the Giza Plateau is witness of this civilization that lived on Earth, and that lived all around the world, monuments that are very similar. So I believe that it was a global civilization that lived in South America and Africa, Europe, Asia, Middle East, and so on. So a global civilization that lived before us.
Interesting. Filippo, what is your opinion of the technology behind the Giza pyramids? Do you think it's something that was part of the dynastics that we know of, or was it something that is from a lost civilization, in your opinion?
Yes, in my personal, I am not expert in this. I have to say that I'm not expert. But now are some years that I am studying the pyramids from 2018 since now. But I tell you again that I am not expert. So this what I'm saying is related to my personal opinion. And also according to the books written by people that are more expert than me, and also the books of Armando, I could understand that there was another civilization before, let's call it a catastrophic event. I believe in the Zeptepi. There was a time that when the pyramids were built, but not the pyramids. The Giza Plateau was built because the pyramids can be considered the end of this colossal work. that were made. The Giza Plateau was built by an ancient civilization that where some kind of technology based on acoustics, and so this civilization was able to do what we are just discovering now. So an ancient civilization that were living the territory, let's call it of Kem, before during the Zeptepi. Let's say like that.
Right. In the images taken of the Khufu Pyramid, there are descending shafts that go deep under the surface of the
Yes.
area. Is it your belief that this was used to suck water out of the Nile, or did you go and analyze it a little further
Yeah.
after the scans were done to determine what these descending shafts are? Because in
Yes.
the rendering of the data, they're very, very deep and very large.
Yes. Yes. Yes, these infrastructures that we found are very huge and they go very deep. Thank you for these questions because a lot of people are asking us information about these shafts correlated to the water table that is located underneath also. There is water underneath Giza. We have estimated that we have found also, we have correlating our results with water. Again, I suggest people to watch the conference we had in Malta because it was very important, this conference. And there we said a lot of things technically also related to the water, the shafts, the particular shape given by the shafts, because they have a spiral nature. So it is something spiral like that goes down, because we are watching this nature on our measurements. So we are measuring something that is not natural. We are measuring something that has a spiral behavior. And we are also measuring that these shafts are very huge and very deep, and they go also below the water table.
Yes, I would like to add some information on the correlation between the Giza Plateau and water, particularly salt water. Because you have to know that in 1922, a German geologist announced the discovery of a river that connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the desert of Libya and Egypt. He found artificial channels going towards maybe also Giza and Qatar Depression. And the river contained salt water. It was called Ur-Nil, the twinned with the Nile. And also in 1929, two geologists of the University of Chicago made an interesting survey in the region of Fayum, discovering channels, artificial channels, leading towards north, towards Giza, containing salt water. So it's very interesting to underline that there is a place on the Giza Plateau, particularly the Tomb of the Bird, that is characterized by conduits and channels that goes underneath. And there is an interesting and impressive water erosion and also traces of sodium. So it is possible that the Tomb of the Birds was the basin characterized by salt water that was connected to the network developed in the underground that we are discovering with the SAR. So it is very interesting. I will explain better this topic at the conference in Chicago, the Global Pyramid on September.
Okay.
So who is interested could found information on the globalpyramidnetwork.com. And I will explain better this topic because I believe it's very, very important to understand the possible function of all the structures of Giza, so the monuments on surface and the network underneath.
Yeah, I mean, I've been down to the subterranean shaft in the Khufu Pyramid, and when you get down there, all those stones look to be water eroded.
Yeah.
So water was,
Particularly the subterranean chambers, the floor of the subterranean chambers, and also the structures, the wall, present water erosion. So it means that in the chambers there was water.
yeah, has to be. Filippo, in the images of the Khafre interior of the pyramid, there seems to be 5 different relieving chambers. There's only one that we know of in the Khufu Pyramid. Are any Egyptologists confirming that there's 5, or are they still waiting to
Yes.
inspect these?
Thank you for this question. We are measuring 5 structures that are similar, like the JED, the unique structure that is located and, I repeat, was discovered for the first time by Mario Pinkerle, which is the JED. So,
The function of the Z.
yeah,
The function of the Z was as well.
Yeah. According to this, we can say this. According to this correlation, we measured acoustic activities where we are depicting the structures, multi-layer structures, very similar like the one is present in the Khufu. So we, because of several confirmation of these measurements were done using different satellites also, we are confident that the 3D model that we have depicted and showed, so the model concerning the upper part of the Khafre pyramid, where we are depicting 5 structures like the one that is present in the Khufu, we are confident. At the moment, we don't have confirmation because could be nice when the results of the Scan Pyramid project maybe could confirm our hypothesis that it is not a hypothesis. Be attention. Let's focus on this. Are measurements. The hypothesis that we done was passing from the measurements to the 3D model. Okay, that it is an hypothesis given by our reconstruction, so from the measurements to the 3D image, 3D model. Okay, so when the Scan Pyramid project will give their results, we can be a very nice opportunity to match the results, the
Ah,
muon results with our results. Okay, so we are living on this planet. Everyone is living on this planet. So we have to collaborate. It is not a nice thing to be separated. So when the Scan Pyramid project results are available, we maybe match everything together and give a better and
I
more
love what you're saying,
precise.
Filippo,
Yes,
but the problem with
thank
the
you.
Scan Pyramid group is they work with the Antiquities Department, and only a small portion of their data has been released to the public. And this is the real problem. And I love the fact that you guys just said, we're doing it whether you like it or not. We're scanning the pyramid, and
Yes.
we're going to report our data. The Scan Pyramid people mention this void above the king's chamber, but then we're not allowed to release the data.
Mm. Yeah.
Yes, we are waiting since 2015 the results of the Scan Pyramids. 10 years have passed, but until now we don't have any kind of scientific evidence of their job, their discoveries, and so on. So I hope that one day the scan pyramids will release the content of their work in the effort to compare their data with ours.
Yeah, but have either one of you spoken to anybody at the Scan Pyramid organization to determine what that void above the King's Chamber is? Or are they not releasing
In
the data?
Yes, in my personal opinion, it's true. Yes, the Scam Pyramid project give us the announcement of a big void on the Grand Gallery, but they don't know exactly the position, the orientation. Okay, it is this an important opportunity, no, to join together us because we have our results where we have seen also the big void, but not because we are more professional than them. I'm not saying this, but also we found something that can be related to a big void, just correlating the results using two independent research group will give us the certainty to have located in the space, exactly in this space, the big void. Only just. I make you the example of the corridor, the 9 meters corridor. The 9 meters corridor where was estimated by us and published the results and estimated by the Scam Pyramid project. 6 months later, with respect to us, they published their results.
Ah,
After this, Zahi Hawass made the in situ perforation, so he made the in situ measurements with a small camera, no? And so announced everyone the existence of this corridor. But when I made it, I correlate my results with them, and so everything matched. So it is only to stress the fact that research groups has to collaborate, not be divided by
yes,
I don't know what.
yes. But my question to either of you is why hasn't all of the Scan Pyramid data been released to the public? Why are they keeping certain parts of that data quiet? Do you know?
I don't know. I personally do not know. I don't
I
know,
don't know, me
Armando.
too. I don't know, me too. I don't know.
Okay. Uh,
Maybe they haven't data.
I mean, it's been, like you said, it's been since 2015, 2016 they did their work. So
But
getting on.
this is. I agree with Filippo because I believe that Zahi Hawass should be smarter on that topic, and because it is very important to collaborate between project of research. So I don't understand why he withdrew conferences because of the presence of the Italian team. It is a great opportunity to share knowledge, experiences, data in the interest of humanity, not in the interest of Zahi Hawass or Armando Meio or Filippo Biondi or Corrado Malagga, but in the interest of humankind that must know what happened in the ancient past, what are our origins. So it's very important, the collaborations between men, between group of research and so on. So I suggest to Zahi Hawass and his team to be more smarter on that topic and to start to have a different point of view in the effort to find a common path of research that could help us to understand what happened in the ancient past.
Armando, real quickly on that subject, why would, and this is a possibility, and this is being a little paranoid on my part, is there a reason why the Egyptological community and the antiquities department in Egypt would want to hold on and repress data? Is it because in our worst thoughts, that they don't want us to know about an ancient civilization that may have been highly sophisticated prior to our written history. So that
But
means that,
in my opinion, it's in my opinion, my personal opinion, if we could show that in the ancient past, before our civilization, there was another human civilization that gave birth to our civilization, it is a reason of proud for the Egyptians that are the seeds of the recent civilization, of the modern civilization. And it could improve also the tourism, for example. It's very important for the Egyptians authority to understand that.
yeah,
Because if we can show that in the ancient past there was a human civilization that built the pyramids and all the Giza Plateau, in my opinion, is very important for the Egyptians above all, and then for the humanity. So I don't understand why they are so, I don't know, they don't want to discuss with us, and the Egyptology community is not open to this kind of discussion. I don't understand why.
yeah. It's very suspicious, very strange. Filippo, Trevor Grassi has been working with William Brown, and William did some ground penetrating radar many years ago and discovered an intricate tunnel system in the Giza Plateau. In your scans, have you found or have you followed his suggested area where there's tunnels? And if so,
Uh,
do they lead to the Nile, or have you discovered a path?
Yes, I thanks Trevor Grassi because he contribute to give us some suggestion in order to scan the Giza Plateau. We at the moment we are we no at the moment we have scanned already some particular shafts, vertical shafts that are visible from the Giza Plateau. More exactly, on the space belonging between the Khufu Pyramid and the Sphinx. There are some shafts that has a squared base that goes underneath, but at a certain depth, they are blocked by soil, something that cannot that is blocking the shaft. So we have measured those shafts, and we have seen that they go deep underneath. And so we are considering those like an entrance, a possibility to entrance at a, let's say, the connections or on inside all the tunnels that are located underneath. So that shafts, if we do some cleaning activities on those shafts, maybe we can entrance in the so-called city that is located underneath. Just to tell you, in the Joe Rogan Experience broadcast, when Zahi Hawass was interviewed by Joe, that I thanks Joe to cite us several times in his broadcast. Professor Hawass told Joe that he was open to have a contact with us. So we are available, no? And
Yeah, that's good.
this is my email, yeah, and he can write me when he want. This is my email.
Okay, we're looking at that. I'll make sure we put that on our video. I actually know a couple of his producers, so if you want to go on Joe Rogan, I can help you with that. That shouldn't be a problem.
Thanks.
As we conclude, my friends, give us an idea what the future holds for your research in the Giza Plateau. Obviously, from a scientific perspective, we want additional validation for what you've discovered.
Sì.
Obviously, the permissions have to come from the Antiquities Department for archaeological digs, any kind of new science on the plateau itself. I know for a fact that Zahi Hawass was very unhappy that you didn't go through the antiquities department before you released your data. Personally, and I go to Egypt every year, I thank you both, for publishing your data, because it's just, you have to wait years and years and years and years and years for information to come out of the department. So, what do you see as the future in the Giza Plateau? And the final question would be, do you think SAR will be like LiDAR in the future, where science will use it on a regular basis?
I answer your last question for first. In my personal opinion, yes, because I am really convinced on my technique. I am convinced that it works very efficiently. What I have to do is to improve the resolution. I have to work more on it. I am aware that maybe some tomograms are a bit noisy. Yes, okay. So it has to be optimized, and that's my job. So I will do it. But on the other hand, of course, yes, satellite technology is growing up, and is growing up because there are a lot of nice things that are coming on the stage, and so I believe in this in science, and I believe also in the space and satellite technology for archaeological purpose. So this is my personal opinion, and I am very firm on this. Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Fantastic.
Yes, in my opinion, there are 2 points that are very important. First of all, the historical and archaeological purpose of the Giza Plateau, because I believe that it's important to explore the underground, and of course also the pyramids, because I believe that all the new environment that through the SAR we found inside the pyramid of Khufu, for example, or into the Khufu Pyramid, must be explored to know better what is the consistence of those environments. And what is important is also to move ahead in the technological and scientific approach to the techniques of the protocol, the Biondi protocol. This is important, for example, to announce that a month ago, we signed an agreement with the Athenatos Foundation of Delaware and Professor Howard Zepker of the Stanford University in the effort to study better the technologies, applying that also in civil application, and of course in the archaeological project. So I believe that the SAR is the future for archaeology, because experimental archaeology and high satellite technology, not invasive, could help us to know better the mysteries of many archaeological sites that were built all around the world.
Fantastic. Filippo Biondi and Armando May, thank you very much for being on the program. Continued success. You guys have really done an amazing job. And as somebody who travels to Egypt every year, I'm really, really happy with the work you're doing, and I hope that you can continue. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Cliff. And I hope to meet the American community at the 2 conference that we attend in Denver in August, at the Ancient Civilization Conference, and in Chicago at the Global Pyramid Conference. And we hope to meet the American conference, and maybe you.
Oh yeah, hey, you guys are doing the Gaia conference.
Fantastic! So we can meet in person at Gaia conference. Then that's great.
We'll come out and see you. Hey, much success, and thank you both. Cheers.
Thank you to you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.